Hello. Hi guys, how are y'all? This feels a little bit strange. I haven't done this for quite a while. Hi Sonia, how are you? Hi Kathy, how you keeping? Are we a little bit dark guys or is it okay for you? The sun is kind of behind me here. Hi David, how are you? Hi Toms, hi Mo, how you keeping? How we all doing? I hope we're well. I know a lot of us are suffering with this dreaded hay fever, but it's kind of part and parcel of the summer months. Hi John, how you keeping? And yeah, I've just been pretty miserable um, with it. I kind of get. Hi Kathy, how are you? Do you know those itchy watery, scratchy kind of eyes. My throat gets all kind of sore and annoying, so it's just rotten, really. Hi, Margaret. How you keeping? Hi, Randy. It's lovely to have you all here, guys. So, what have you all been up to? I just said I'd come on and have a chat with you all. I'm sure by now, well, hopefully, you've all watched most of the London experience we had, be it Highgate Cemetery. Hi, Linda. Uh, or some of the live walks we were able to do. I had George Michael's up. I had, what did I do the other night? Kensal Green. So I still have a video um, coming from Brompton. Hi, Greg. How are you? Hi, Karen. Um, it was brilliant, David, but do you know something? We didn't get a second. We just kept going. Hi, Janice. We were just flat out. It doesn't feel like we had a rest at all. But we didn't have a rest, in fairness, to be honest, which is we slept for a few hours and we got up and we went again. Hi, Jill. And Janice, did I say hello to you, Janice? How are you? Um, Thank you, Kathy Cousins. But it was an amazing experience. Hi, Gutter Girl. And do you know, I'd love to do it all again. London is amazing. It was amazing. I suppose, unfortunately picked one of the busiest times we could have picked. Hi, Valco. Hi, Sandro. Hope I pronounced that right. From Portugal. Thank you very much, Sandro. Hiya, Dan. Hi, Tommy. Tammy, sorry. Tammy, it is. Um, Sorry, guys, just making sure I've said hello to you all. I think I have. Forgive me if I haven't. Yeah, so it was just the busiest time we could have picked, but it was brilliant. Hi, Krista. It was just so, oh, I don't know, the experience was amazing. The London itself, London City, is fantastic. It's magnificent in every sense of the word. But the cemeteries, you know, like London is so busy that when you walk into a cemetery from a busy, busy town or city, it's just, you know, it's I can't even describe it. It's serene, it's beautiful. Hi Nadia. It was probably one of the best experiences I have ever had. Um, I was in Edinburgh 4 year ago, so it was pre-YouTube, obviously. But and Edinburgh is beautiful. I did the castle, I did the undergrounds, and I did obviously the usual cemeteries there. But London for me was better. Um, I mean, you can see what Highgate is probably, or it was one of the number one. It was number one on my bucket list. Sorry, I keep getting notifications here from YouTube. Um, yeah, so it was on one of my. Highgate was number one, but then you know, obviously, we wanted to do other cemeteries and stuff as well. Hi, Susan, how are you? Um, but we didn't get to do all we wanted to do. There's loads more. I mean, I suppose really if any of you were ever to come to London, and I know Dan knows well, um, to do a cemetery, you will have to be there for the day and more to get. Yeah, you just can't fit it in, Dan. It's ridiculous, you know. Um, they are so huge, and then there's such variety there as well. I kind of kept getting lost in myself, in the sense I was going one way and then I'd spot something else and I'd go that way, and then I couldn't remember if I covered that area or this area, and so on and so forth. And then Highgate was extremely busy, more so on the west side, which I'm probably a little bit surprised with, because George Michael's are sorry, the west, no, the east side, actually, sorry, the east side was busier than the other side. But it's just amazing. Like Brompton, I'll have Brompton hopefully this week. I'm not sure about doing a premiere Friday night because I have kind of a work thing going on. So if it's not Friday night, I'll probably push it to Hi Sue, Hi Lynn. It'll probably be Thursday, but I'll have it up anyway, and you'll see the notification hopefully. Um, YouTube is still being a little bit of annoyance. I don't know whether Dan notices this, but obviously I am subscribed to Grave Visitations and I have my notifications turned all. But I was sitting on his premiere the other night and I still didn't get a notification. Now YouTube are telling him different. YouTube are telling him your viewers don't have their notifications turned on, and if they do have them turned on, they haven't clicked the bell with the all. But I do, and I still didn't get a notification. So YouTube is not really, it's not really playing ball. So all I can do is ask you to. Yeah, Sonia, I know it's terrible, but YouTube are saying that people don't have their notifications turned on, and I know that's a lie, because as I said, I was sitting beside Grave Visitation on his premiere and I didn't get the notification either before I went in, or while I was there. I got nothing. So it's really hard for us to kind of push out content and have you there with us. So I'm going to ask you all on both channels, if you can. Tizzy you get your notifications, brilliant, and I hope Kim is saying she does. Dan, yeah, Dan, I don't know what's going on. I tell you guys, it's heartbreaking in the sense that you do. Dan knows exactly what I'm on about. You put a lot of work into videos. I mean, we went as far as London to do videos, and then you have to edit them and blah 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 blah. And then you go and put out a video and it's crushing when it doesn't get viewed, or okay, Craig, no problem. And then hi Kim, and then it just doesn't put you out there. But as I said, Grave Visitations contacted YouTube and they're saying no, it's not our fault, it's theirs, and basically meaning ye that your notifications aren't on. But as I said, that's not the case, because I have mine turned on to all. But what we are going to ask you to do is to make sure. Hi Kathy, how are you? Stephanie, how are you? Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, so what I'm going to ask you to do, and I know it's a pain because we've said it a few times, is to make sure, obviously you're subscribed, but to make sure that there's a bell icon there, and basically there's an all, there's a none, and there's a personalized location. Let me just check this. Let me see. So I'll just go into Grave Visitations. So so this is all going to be backwards for you, but there's Grave Visitations. Under the channel name, there's subscribed and the bell icon. And then when you click on the bell, it says all personalized or none. So we're asking you all to click the all button. So the little bell, where is the camera? The little bell then turns kind of a black color. And, that's all we can ask you to do. And, hopefully, or, even if you can check out the channel, I try to upload at least twice a week and then try to do a live or something for you over the weekend as well. Um, no, Sonia, it is definitely across the board, and I'll tell you why. We've talked to other YouTube channels, and it's happening across the board. But what's annoying is that YouTube aren't saying there's a problem when there clearly is a problem. But you know something, I don't really want to go on about it the whole time because it's doing me head in, to be honest with you. Blue Moon, hello, how are you? So guys, come on, enlighten me. What are y'all doing? I've told you a little bit about London. Is there any questions you want to ask? I have Brampton coming up. It is Brampton. It is Brampton. I have coming up. Grave Visitations, I think, has some more on Highgate as well. Actually, what else have I got up? Oh, I actually have one from Cove that I hadn't released. It's been sitting there on YouTube, all edited and all, but I just didn't release it because we went to London, and then I wanted to try and compact the London videos to match with the days that I videoed, if you know what I mean. So Highgate was first, Kensal Green, Brampton, and so on and so forth. Hi, Nana D. Hi, my mother's Spark. How are you keeping? Mo, I'm so happy to be home. It's, you know, something, it was the pain, I never forget, the pain I was feeling the night before, I think it was the night before we were coming home. The pains I had were like, it was just totally from walking. My legs, my feet, my toes, every part of me ached. We were doing 15 kilometers easily a day walking, and there was one day I think we hit 18 kilometers. So it's a lot of walking, and my body was saying, you know, stop and go home, please. Now, you know, I would have loved another couple of days in London, to be honest with you, because there was other things we wanted to see. But I think I said it in one of the videos. My only complaint I would have of the cemeteries in London is their opening times and their closing times. Highgate, I think, is 10 to 5 or 5:30. I think Brampton was 6 or something, but then by the time we travelled out there, we got there a bit later. But it's so I did mow wear my shoes. I had runners on and it still didn't help. You're watching the lap. Yeah, Greg, I think it's whether you're watching a laptop, tablet, or phone. I'm not sure when you log in. You possibly have to just make sure that all those are turned on. I'm not sure if you have an account. Maybe it just works across the board. I hope. I don't know. So I went on a ghost tour last night and learned the purpose of the iron gates setting the grave. Tell us more, Mother Sparks. Stephanie, I used to live in South London as a child. Now in the States, I barely remember an old church there with a graveyard, St. Michael's. If Dan is still here, I wonder, does Dan know where you're on about? Yes, there is a difference between a graveyard and a cemetery, and I'm still mixing them up. Runny Egg, how are you? I'm still mixing up. A graveyard has a church attached. It's in it. So you have your church and you have your graveyard, so your headstones and stuff. A cemetery has no church. But I guarantee you, my Mother Sparks, I will still go and I will still say I'm in a cemetery when I'm in a graveyard. It is just one of those things. Tommy, how are you keeping? I hope you're well. It's just one of those things that, as I'm saying it, I mix up loads of things, but it is one of those things that people, kind of make the mistake in, is it a graveyard or is it a cemetery? So a graveyard has a church and a cemetery doesn't. But enlighten us, my Mother Sparks, on the gates, please. That sounds interesting. Greg was off for the weekend, weren't you, Greg? You were off Was it Greg? Was it a tractor run or was it like cars, old cars and stuff? Let me know what it was, please. Mo, thank you so much. You're my spirit sister, Mo. Mo is an angel, a heart of gold. Old religious beliefs believe that the iron gates kept in any spirit goblins, or is it kept out? I never knew there was a difference between the two. Yeah, my mother spark. I suppose. Um, I've always known that there was a graveyard and a cemetery, but I used to always just get them mixed up. And as I said, I still do. Um, it just comes out of my mouth. I'm in a graveyard. When I'm not in a graveyard, I'm in a cemetery. But I have tried to correct myself on so many occasions and find myself editing videos just to make myself sound a little bit more clever than what I am. So the weather was windy, Greg, was it? Oh no. Let me see. Who have I missed? Oh, Tommy is. Thanks, Tommy, if you're there still. Um, yeah, Linda, that's the thing, isn't it? It is just overwhelming. I mean, she's seen the way I was. I was just so excited. I was, I was like a child in a sweet shop. I didn't know where to put myself, where to go, where to look, where to turn, what to video, what not to video. So I was trying to pick out the best of what we could do, and at the same time give you a kind of I suppose a view, like as if you were walking with me. That is always kind of my goal, is that it, to make you feel like you are with me walking. And so it's hard to kind of get all that going. And then it was Kensal Green, and Kensal Green wasn't so bad because I went off off on my own. But yeah, Brompton was extremely busy. So every little place I went to Brompton, there was, lots and lots of people. But yeah, it was overwhelming. That's probably the best way to describe it. But so beautiful, so beautiful. It was just amazing. Now, where am I? Sorry, guys, just call through these comments. Where'd I get? Oh, it was an old time farm show, so I presume loads of tractors and stuff, Greg, was there? Like farm machinery and stuff. Stephanie, I have the worst. Oh, I have the worst brain ever. I swear, I don't know what goes on in my head sometimes. I really don't. I don't retain information for longer than 5 minutes and it's gone. Um, so my mother's spark, so it's to keep them in rather than to keep them out. I have actually never heard of that. Um, some had said like it was kind of a prevention for grave robbers, but I mean, most of those little rails and stuff all have these little gates to kind of, go into plots or go into little grave areas. So, I kind of was figuring myself that couldn't be the case. So what you've told us now there is, it's actually quite nice. Yeah. Hello, Tim. How are you, Tim? How are you keeping? Sorry, guys. I just want to. Friday night was just a tractor pull, says Greg. We used to have them here. They were called, what were they called? Not like we do have this massive ploughing match, which is basically people ploughing fields, but there'd be loads of stalls and stuff on it. It's quite fun. But we used to have, I can't remember what we used to call it. It was like a fair, but it was all based around kind of farming stuff. Hello, Sean McKenna. How are you keeping? all the way from Vancouver. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. Do, 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 do. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to catch up. I also learned the purpose of the slabs on top of older graves. I learned a lot last night. I'm so glad you're here so I can share away my mother's spark. Absolutely do. Now, I would have thought the slabs were definitely to, sometimes it's kind of the last of the family line, maybe, and they just slab the whole top of it. I mean, I've seen cemented ones, which is definitely the case for those. Um, so let us know for sure. I'll be keeping an eye for your comment. Lauren, the hay fever is dreadful. I have to admit it. It's just horrible. I get really tired and hi Patrick. Um I don't know. It's like you're getting the flu sometimes with hay fever. It's really, really rotten. Uh so my mother sparks said the coffins would pop up when it would rain a lot, so the slabs on top were to prevent that from happening. Wow. Yeah, that is that I can see that as well, but that's kind of that's kind of sad as well, isn't it? I know in Ireland, I know in America, they do. Yous have, I don't know what you call them. See, there's my brain not working again. You have like a cement liner. We don't have that here. We are literally buried into the ground. So just you dig the big hole. There's no liner, and then the coffin goes in. So you can just imagine kind of when it gets pretty wet here, you can just imagine the state of the poor coffins. Um, Patrick, I hope you're all right. You're on antibiotics reporting. Blue Moon Vaults, that's it. Darren McKinney. Is it Darren? Darren McKinney. I hope I said that right. How are you? Um, yeah, Patrick. Well, you see, the thing is, antibiotics won't stop the hay fever. You have to use an antihistamine, and these antihistamines they really don't help for sure. They might take an edge off it, but if you're out in the grass or um, anywhere like that. Now, my breeding would go sometimes as well, Patrick, with the hay fever if it gets bad enough. But an antibiotic won't stop the hay fever. It's actually a steroid you need, maybe. Especially if your breeding is a little bit. If you're finding it hard to breed, you've got to take care of yourself. But it's probably a steroid uh, would actually help better. Um, Krista, I saw in Ireland an amazing casket that looked like a weaved basket. I was shocked but loved it. I guess shocked because in PA would never see. Krista, was it one of those natural burial coffins? So the natural burials here we use like a weaved basket, and they're actually very, very beautiful. They're really, really nice. How are you, Dennis? How are you keeping? Have I said hello to everybody? Uh, oh, well, Patrick, you're definitely sick then if you have a temperature. Hopefully the antibiotics will help, but if not, definitely go back to your doctor because you can't be sick. Um, and with everything that's going on in the world, you have to kind of mind yourself and do what you can. Get back to the doctor if you're not better in, I reckon, 3 days for an antibiotic, I think, to start working. Hello, Bruce. How are you? Karen. Yeah, Karen, you've often seen me, guys, in all kinds of weather. I have these with me. These are more precious than anything. They help a little bit with the pollen getting into your eyes. It still gets in there, but it's not as bad. But I'm kind of sensitive to light as well, so I always have sunglasses. You'll see me like this going around, even in the darker weather. I'll be like that with them on and this up there, because I can't read without these, and I can't see when there's any kind of light at all, even it could be raining, I find it really, really hard to see with the glare of the sun. But definitely sunglasses help with the hay fever. So if you are out and you do suffer with hay fever, wear some sort of protection. I don't know about swimming goggles now. Make sure people were dead, they would. Um, Also learned the old days of making sure people were dead, they would bleed them out. Ooh. But when they didn't do it right, some got buried and they were, yeah, my mother spark, I have actually heard of that before. Um, Years ago, they wouldn't have had, the, I suppose, medical science like we have now. And so people would have fell into comas and they were presumed that they were dead. And there was a period of time where people became extremely afraid of being buried alive. And it did happen because we've seen the stories, it did happen. So even in Ireland, we have at least one that I know of in Mount Rome where the woman was buried, but she was buried in a mausoleum. And in that mausoleum, right down to her coffin, was, a bell on top of the mausoleum, and then the chain went right down into the coffin. So this lady figured that if she wasn't dead and she, woke up from her coma, that she would be able to ring the bell and alert people, that the fact that she's alive. I mean, that itself is kind of, it's scary, isn't it? Um, so that's what I'm just saying. My mother sparks actually. Yeah, so that's the whole reason behind these bells that were fitted to the mausoleums. And I mean, some people put in phones and all sorts of crazy things. And then there were stories of where people were exhumed and found scratch marks inside coffins because the person was buried and they weren't actually dead at all, which is it is kind of scary, isn't it? But thankfully, medical science has moved on, and there's no fear of that happening now. Hi Penny, how are you? Tim, no, we didn't. I don't know whether Grave Visitations is still here or not. We didn't, Tim. We made Kensal Green, Highgate Cemetery, Kensal Green, and Brompton. And we did Freddie Mercury's house, which is absolutely, it's kind of, I can't actually describe it. It's strange to stand at a man that you are, you have followed and you have loved Queen, like we both love Queen and Freddie Mercury, and to stand at the wall of his home was quite surreal. And the same with George Michael, to visit his grave. It's just, I can't describe it. It's kind of, I don't know, it just hits a little bit different, I suppose. It's sad, really, really sad. But we didn't get to do them all, unfortunately. Tim, just time went by so fast. Saved by the Veil. Blue Moon, that's funny actually. That is actually really, really funny. Yeah, it's just horrifying to think of that. Um, yeah, I've heard, Greg, that sounds like the way to recycle graveyards. I don't know. I don't like the sound of that either. Where um oh, I'm after, sorry, it's after jumping forward on me. Sorry, I was reading comments there. Um let's get back up. Yeah, where they're recycling graveyards. So it's basically, if you're there for so long, they'll take out your bones and somebody else will go in. It's kind of, I don't like that. I think that's awful. Uh, da, 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 da. Let me see, please subscribe. Thank you, Nana D. Thank you, Kathy, for sharing that. Blue Moon, you could be perfectly right there, actually, absolutely. My mother's spark. That is an interesting question. What would you do if you found a crypt that you could peek in and saw a skeleton in front of the door? I would freak out and flood with emotions. Now, how many of ye here remember Mount Jerome? My mother's spark, that very same thing actually happened to me. I went up to a mausoleum, I peeped in the door, and there was a full skeleton lying in, not in a coffin, more like it was, actually it's hard to, in a coffin with no lid in it, maybe is the best way to describe it. Um, I didn't get upset. I kind of took a second look. I did video it. It is up on the channel. I think I was more in awe, in the sense of you're looking death straight in the face, aren't you? And I mean, the mausoleum was a few hundred years old. I kind of do have no, I'm not going to say I kind of do. I do have a healthy morbid side to me, in the sense it's not disrespectful. I am, eager to learn, to educate myself, eager to see it. I mean, you learn about it on books and everything else about death and what happens and da 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 da. But when you see it, um, it's something I find very, very fascinating. But I didn't feel anything, to be honest with you. I just didn't. Um, Now, if it was a fresher grave, I would feel differently for sure. But this was from, oh, I can't remember, 18 something. So I suppose the emotional part of that wasn't really there for me, but definitely sometimes when you see new graves and stuff, it does hit a little bit different than that. Okay, thank you, Kathy Cousins. Um, Hi, Dysons, how are you? Um, what is the oldest grave I have visited is in County Carlow. Can't think off the top of my head the name of it. But it was 1622. That was the oldest grave I have found. But having said that, I'd also found a 1634, I think it was, in Youghal in County Cork. And the Cove one that I'll be releasing this week, I think it's a 1669 grave I found in it. So very, very, very old. And surprisingly, the one in Cove that I'll be putting out this week is actually, it is easy enough to read, but it's you can read it, but then the words kind of get a little bit jumbled up, and I couldn't really understand what they were writing. That old writing that they used to use. Uh, yeah, Mount Rome is pretty cool, I have to say. That's where I got that voice. I don't remember if you remember that. It was like a voice as I looked into another mausoleum. It was strange. Tom's daughter, my great grandfather was paved over. He's under the church parking lot now, church upstate near. Geez, Tom's, that is actually more upsetting to me than finding a skeleton or remains, like, and I don't know why, but I don't know. It's, we found that grave before, that graveyard, sorry, where all the headstones were taken up and kind of put to one side in the graveyard. And, the local woman had said that the bodies were exhumed and put somewhere else, or they were still under this beautiful lawn that the priest wanted. And I could never find out. And anybody that searched for me, some of the subscribers looked, they could never find out. There's also a place in Arklow that I want to kind of do, the park in Arklow, where the same thing has happened. They made a park and they've moved the headstones. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it's sad, isn't it? It's sad. Hi, Greg. How are you keeping? Stephanie, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Um, Dan, I've never seen anything in a sem. I'll just explain actually. The video I put up Friday night in my premiere, Kensal Green. I don't know why. I've never felt unsafe in a cemetery or graveyard. I've never felt scared or anything like that. But in my video that as I got down to, I kind of went into a little, it was only very, very small, little wooded area, Dan. But as soon as I walked in there, I started to feel, what's the word, creeped out, maybe? Is that the word? I don't really know why, but I felt like I was being followed. So I go in anyway, and I kind of get myself stuck into a situation where I can't see what's under the ground, if you know what I mean. The grass was really, really long. I knew there was graves around me, but I didn't want to walk on graves, and I didn't want to fall in a hole. So I had to kind of stop the camera, and I started again, and I got up onto there was this kind of what would you call it, like a step around this mausoleum. And when I got there, I couldn't even talk. I was really, really scared, really, really scared. And I kind of stopped the video again. And then I said, yeah, I got myself into a bit of an awkward situation and kind of got back out onto the path. And then every single noise that happened, you know the way you get really, you're alert to everything. So every little bit of noise, I was jumping and I was stopping and I was looking. Um, and I don't know why really, because it was really, really beautiful. I wanted to explore, which I did, but I kept getting this weird, strange sensation like I was being followed or I was being watched. And I don't know why. Having said that, prior to us going into Kensal Green, we were speaking to the lady at the gates, and she had said that there had been a murder there. Unfortunately, there had been a murder there a few years prior, and it was, for no reason, a poor gentleman was murdered. And she kind of did give us the graphic side of it. And so I don't know whether that was playing on my mind, but I suddenly did realize for the first time doing this that I was very much alone and I was very much on my own. And God forbid anything happened, you know, that was it. So I kind of did finish the video there, and I found grave visitations and we did the live together then. And I felt fine then. But I remember one stage a squirrel came down from a tree and it crossed my path behind me. And it was just these feet, and it just frightened the heart out of me. But that kind of is where I ended the video because I couldn't actually go on anymore. So I don't know whether that was a paranormal feeling I had, or I don't know what it was. Was it the story that she had kind of told us prior to us going out? But I know, hi Tony, how are you? I know I am the world's worst for going off and venturing out on my own, because I love that. I love get past the famous stories and get past all those amazing stories and everything else that everybody knows about is in that cemetery. I love kind of going off on my own and finding a headstone, going, wow, I look him up when I go home, and then finding the history, which is always amazing. I mean that George Blondin, how amazing was that? He walked tightrope across the Niagara Falls. I mean, that is just amazing. That's better than anything, to find this man is there, and it was just a lovely little piece of history to, just to happen on. And that's what I kind of love. That's where I get excited. And, you'll see me in these live videos and I'm skipping around the place because that's how I feel. Like, I really, really love it. I really, really love it. But, I've never had anything paranormal, Dan, happen, bar that EVP. We've kind of picked up noises before, but, sometimes your mic will pick up something in the distance and you're not sure, what it is. But that day was something I couldn't explain. I was totally on my own down mausoleum, kind of like a row of mausoleums, and I just couldn't. I didn't hear it at the time. It was afterwards in edit when I heard it, and it's one of those things that you go, thank God I didn't hear that when I was there, because you'd be thinking, oh, I'd have ran or something. Tim, I keep calling it T because it used to be T Snowman. It's Tim. Thank you so much. You are sound. And the guy right. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, now I have had paranormal experiences. It's on my community page, those photos of the orbs. I mean, come on. I mean, who doesn't love a good paranormal story or an old folklore tale, or, the talk of the banshee, or, your home is haunted and you can, experience something like that. I mean, I love all of that. I don't want to bring anything home, I don't want to end up with something living with me in my house or anything, but I have had paranormal experiences, and I do kind of do a little prayer before we go when we're leaving and all the rest. And I used to always think, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen in a graveyard. I don't think anybody, Patrick, Patrick, will I read that out? I hope your darling wife is not watching. I don't know, if God forbid, somebody, if I just don't believe a cemetery is haunted, if that makes sense. I think if you were going to haunt somewhere, it would be somewhere. Thanks, Janice. I think if you were going to haunt somewhere, it would be your home, or somewhere where you had lovely memories while you lived, and something like that. I don't think anyone wants to haunt the grave. But having said that, I'm sure if something terrible happened to you in life, and if someone was killed near a cemetery or in a cemetery, that may well be your place of choice to haunt, I suppose. But I think mine was just really that day. Dan was just a whole story that she told us, and it's a true story. I won't go into the gory details that she shared with us, but it certainly was an awful story. That lady actually, I think she went to investigate, or she went to help in some way, So, Linda Ball, thank you so, so much. And scones, darling. Yes, we shall have some stew. We didn't get scones in Kensington Palace, though, unfortunately. No scones. We weren't even allowed really to video there. But besides all, Dan, you have visited Highgate. Dan, funny you say that. Actually, when you say that, you just reminded me. We were talking about this the other day about you'd haunt your home, or you'd haunt your place of work. And actually, I did say that just there, what you said. Oh, I will be in cemeteries then. That's where I'm going to be haunting, because that's what I love doing, and that's where my happy memories are. But most of them, some of them. So that's where I'll be. I mean, isn't that crazy? Oh Lord. Well, hopefully that's not going to happen for a long, 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 long time. Let me see. Sorry now. Oh, I'm missing something. Hold on now. Camp Life. Never saw the fairy art. Yeah, the fairy one is here. Camp Life. It's on my channel. I can't remember what the name of it is now. I'm sure it has the heading, I Caught a Fairy. And what I did then, I was at that little section of the video, I actually slowed it down and kind of zoomed in, because when I looked at the video, during edit it's different, because you have different speeds and you're kind of going through piece by piece, is when I noticed it. I didn't notice it at the time. So during edit, I was able to kind of, stop it move it forward. Like literally, you're moving on the frames of your video, so you're getting it like second by second if you want. And when I was able to screenshot that little piece of the video and zoomed it in, it was so like a fairy that I can't describe it any other way than it was a fairy. That cemetery is actually the feeling we got in there as we walked around was it was really enchanted. So it just kind of puts the two things together. I mean, it's something I can't explain, and I kind of put up the photo. The photo would be somewhere on my community page, I'm sure, if you want to scroll back. I think it was last year sometime, I'm sure. Time has gone by so fast, but if you go down to my videos, it's definitely there. But it was just a really unique experience. And I shared photos, I said, and everybody else kind of more or less said the same. Hello, Ruth. How are you? Nadia, am I missing something? Your phone was stolen? No way. Thanks, my mother Spark. I appreciate all that information. You never said what tour it was. I'd be interested to know what tour that was. Have a wonderful day, my mother Sparks. What is my favorite place to visit? Oh, wow. My favorite place to visit. I'm always going to say a cemetery or graveyard all day long. I am absolutely going to say that. At the moment, my favorite, I'm going to say Highgate, for the simple reason. Now, I have loads, but Highgate at the moment, and it changes on a weekly basis with me. Highgate, I've always wanted to do Highgate. As I said, I always wanted to see George Michael's grave, which I did, and I always wanted to get into the catacombs. Always. Hi, David. How are you? Always wanted to get into catacombs, and I did that too. Now, Dan, you were lucky enough to get into the Brompton catacombs, or catacombs. We weren't. It wasn't open that day, but you will see on the video as well. I did get a little peep through the this beautiful iron door with like snakes through it. So we did get a peep in there, so you will see that. Hi, Greg. What time of the day is it there? It is 10 to 6. So evening time, Greg. Gleaming Graves, how are you? All the boys here. Open in September, so is it just twice a year, Dan, that it's open? I just think that's kind of unfair, isn't it? Because I'd imagine if it's only twice a year, the tour, how do you get on a tour? Do they do it? Used to be once. Oh, Lord. 2 this year. So what way did it work, Dan? Is it a tour open all day long for tours? Or what is the story? So we live, people buried on the land. Wow, Mo. 10 to 1 in South Carolina. 9:51 a.m. in Oregon. Wow, the time difference is crazy, guys, isn't it? Is Tony off? Sorry, Tony. Have to get ready for lunch now, going out with family time. Okay, Tony, enjoy your day. Yeah, Linda, that was it. Do you know another favourite one of mine actually? And do you know something? I might even go back now that it's summer. Is I don't know whether you remember, it was Dryness Cemetery. It was like, well, graveyard, I suppose. There's ruins of a church there. It was really, really old. It was autumn time. The colours of the trees, it was kind of like the orange and the reds of the leaves, and it was just another one of those little enchanted places. I'd love to go back there actually, and I might do that, just to see what it's like in summer and share that with you as well. That was just, oh my God, that was just a beautiful, beautiful place. So, it's so hard to pinpoint one. As I said, Highgate, possibly because of the catacombs, because of the famous George there, and then just the beauty of it. And do you know, it's sometimes when you get your hopes up about some place, and you know you've wanted to do it for so long. Sometimes when you get there, it's not always what you wanted it to be or what you thought it would be. But I can tell you now, and I hope I portrayed it in my videos, Highgate was everything and more. Um, you know, it was just, oh, it was just amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, the workmanship in some of those um, headstones and monuments is just like nothing I've ever seen before. And then, do you know what I seen in Highgate as well? And you would have seen it in the videos. Do you know they had the name of the person, and then photographer, or teacher, or doctor. So you know it had their you know, their what they wanted to do, what they loved to do in life was wrote on their headstone, which is really really nice. Shadow Runner, how are you? Um, Yoda stuff. Hello, how are you? Dawn, how are you keeping? Eliza, my Aussie buddy, she would be 18 hours ahead of me. Needless to say, it was too hard to get on the same track, the same day and time. Gleeman Graves, I know we have been wanting to do StreamYard. And for those that, you know, don't, and I, you know, I'm not saying I'm anyway, you know, a buff, what would you call it? I don't really know the ins and outs of StreamYard myself, but it's basically where I can kind of, you know, go live and you can watch, and then you have the option of coming into the StreamYard live as well. And that's what something we've been wanting to do for ages, but it's the same thing. It's the time difference is it's really hard to figure out. Hi Lisa. Yeah, Lisa, do you know that's where I'm at with my videos. It's, you know, I want yous at home to feel like you are walking with me in my video. So do you know the way to say, like, it's through the eyes of a child. I'm not a child, obviously, but you know, it's through my eyes. And you know, sometimes I get so excited when I'm in edit. I go, oh my God, I missed that. Why did I walk past that headstone? It's because of, like, you know, watching so many other things around me and trying to get all those fitted in. So, you know, that's really what I aim to bring ye is, you know, I'll put in the history as well as I find it. Obviously, you know, I've done a few of the famous graves. I suppose they're probably more associated with Ireland, but a few of you would know some of them as well. You know, I want to throw them in as well because it's something, you know, that's important as well. But you know, I really do love those old forgotten ones. Those, you know, I was just saying today in a comment, you know, I'm back to kind of how will I ever top London? How? I'm kind of back to jumping through fields and over ditches and into brambles and everything else for you now, you know. Um, oh, sorry now, I'm just going to try and go back up a little bit. Um, Yvonne, I'm not going to call it out. I'm not going to read your comment just because I am so sorry. I mean, people can read it here. Oh, Yvonne, I am so, so sorry. That is devastating. And, you know, I don't know what to say to you. I really don't know what to say to you. Life is tough. Life is bloody tough, lads. You know, that really, really is. Um, I'm really sorry, Yvonne. That's heartbreaking. It really is. But thank you for coming in and thank you for sharing that. I'm so, so sorry. But anyone that wants to read the comment, please do so and offer Yvonne your, you know, send your blessings and your prayers to Yvonne and her family. I'm so sorry, Yvonne. That's, you know, life is definitely cruel. It really, really is. And that is probably the cruelest. Yeah. But Yvonne, thank you so much for coming in and sharing that. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, we're all sending you love here. We really are. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we've all been dealt things in life that don't make sense to us, that are, I mean, I always say no parent should bury a child. It's not the way. It's not the way. It's not right. And I don't know why it happens. It does happen. Um, it does happen. And I suppose we've all had times in our lives that have been shitty and horrible and hard. And, I don't know why life throws us things like that. I really don't. But we are here for you, Yvonne. We have, we have such a great family here. We are so well connected, and we are always here, for each other, and that's the truth of it. We're, some of us are on Facebook, some of us are on Instagram, some of us are here through email, and we are definitely all here for you, Yvonne. And I've said this before, and I mean it completely. Anybody that ever wants to reach out and talk, please do. It's always good to chat. It's always good to vent. It's always good to speak to somebody if you need to. And that is the truth. And we are all, I will light a candle for you, Yvonne, and we are all sending our love and everything else to you. And I appreciate you coming in and sharing that with us. It's as I said, it's one of those things in life that I cannot, I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. And nor should we have to understand it. Do you know what I mean? It's, I don't know. It's just, it's one of those things we don't have the answer for. I mean, we all know that we get to the stage where we will lose a loved one, be it a husband or mother or father. But in time, but it's when it's somebody that's young and has, the rest of their life in front of them. There's no reason why it has to happen. There just isn't. And life is a bitch. And I suppose we can choose two things. We can choose to keep going and get up every day. Or we can choose to lie down and let it take hold of us, So Yvonne, please keep strong, keep going. And I know it's so hard. I really do know. And I won't share the story, but a friend of mine had a similar experience a few years ago. And I know I've certainly never got over it. So I don't know how a parent would, but you do, and you find strength, and you keep going. And Yvonne, we are all here for you, and just know that, please, that we are here for you. Oh, so thank you for sharing that. And lads, do absolutely reach out to each other. That's why we're here. This is, we have a great group here, great connections. And, I'm friends with a lot of you on Facebook and Instagram, and, people that aren't on Facebook or Instagram, there's an email there. And, please, absolutely, if you ever need to talk or, we're here. We're all here. We're a good old bunch, aren't we, guys? We're not the worst. Yeah, that's it. Tim, that's it exactly, but we never know, guys, what's going on. This is why, I've talked about this before, about being kind and being nice. And Nobody knows what somebody else is going through, and that is the truth of it. And none of us do know that. And a kind word from somebody, um, can help them, and a harsh word can just push them over the edge. So, I try in my life to be kind every single day. I know I can be a contrary bitch. I know I can be contrary and all the rest, but you just have to be nice and support each other. Yeah, that's true, Greg. I am, I'm one of these people that I can go off on my own for days on end, quite happily, and not speak to anybody. My friends will tell you, my family will tell me, they mightn't hear from me for days, but they kind of know me now at this stage that, I'm all right. That's, it's just me, it's how I'm built. But that is the truth of it. So, guys, look after each other, look after yourself, love Tim, to your son as well. Uh, you know, um, just be nice and remember that shit happens, and um, you know we don't ever know what anyone is going through, and that's the truth of it. And if somebody's having a crappy day, let them have their crappy day, and please God, it'll be better um, the next day. So, guys, I'm actually going to leave it there, and just take care of yourselves, please. I'm on all those social media apps and there if any of us ever need it. But I'm going to leave it there. I think I've taken up enough of your time. But yeah, so take care, guys. Please be safe, and God bless you all. Bye bye.